froze, but okay, that's good. Yeah, welcome everyone, and we had this acute need to fix a few things. Alexandra, you ran into the need to do a few. There was a requirement to collect actions from the side menu under some other, like a button to show them just in time when closer to where the action should be executed. And then you did a few things in turnkey for override, but then we also wanted it to behave the same way in VPF and be a part of the sort of the complete framework. So we had to introduce what we call an InplacePopup, which is different from the ordinary pop-up that we have from before. So I'm gonna show what it is and how one defines it. So give me a name for a class, or I will ask ChatGTP. No takers. So let's say this is a lorry with a registration number. And there are
maybe it should be a sled.
Oh yeah, for the season, you think?
Oh. You have boxes on the sled.
Yeah. Is it even spelled like that? Sled?
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
on this sled we have multiple boxes. Yeah, what could you do with these? Let's do a UI to support this. I'm gonna just go with the auto forms on this. Maybe I should set this one to embed in document and redo the auto forms. Save it and press play. Save it as XML and see what we have. So I can create or search for. Oops, I'm gonna remove all the breakpoints, or actually I'm gonna do the detach on this. Okay, I'm not allowed to. I'm gonna remove all the breakpoints. And we're back to where we were, like that. So a new sled, and gonna add a new box. And this is sled AAA. Yeah, and so what the Inplace plugin, the InplacePopup could do was to instead of showing things on the UI directly, it could what we wanted to do is be able to just render a button, and when you press that button the thing should come up instead. So if we say we don't actually want to see the boxes all the time, but we want to see them first when we press a button to save space on the UI, and then we could use one of these Inplace pop-ups. And so if we go to the view model definition for this auto form, would look like this. And we had this need to show the pop-up, but I didn't really necessarily want to add new ways of working or introduce new settings, etc. I wanted to find a way to just have the exact same definition, but say that this is a way to render, and I think it's a really good way to render. It's fairly common that you want to do this. And then it dawned on me that if this boxes grid over here, this nesting, what if that was an action straight off? Just say that it is an action. And then it would, so now it's rendered with the CSS grid, but I'm going to add a placing container. So if this, so the presentation, well, it was removed by the auto form, so I'm going to say, what's the presentation on the other ones? Yeah, like name. So I'm going to have name here as well. And I'm going to put that on last. So it's basically just a button, and when you press that button, we want any content in the nesting to show up in a separate pop-up. And then it would look like, if I refresh this, and if I push the boxes, then this shows just here. I should have put the other things underneath it, but this will be visible until I click outside of it. So that's a new way to get your UI compact. And if I were to, as I said, put this further up so I have things under it, we can see how it looks then. And this is actually transparent in the background, and that's okay because that's up to you really to set a background on this. The easiest way to set the background is to let this be in a let's show this first. I'm switching this to a placing container rendering, and then it should render all the columns of it instead of, so instead of a data grid as per usual. And then it would behave like this, and now it's even more obvious that it's a transparent background and hard to see. To get the color on the background, we would simply create a style in the model and target the placing container for that style. I'm gonna add a color. And let's make it that color, and say that that's the back color of a placing container that uses this style, new style 1. So I'm gonna say that the style expression on this is self VM styles, new style 1. And oops. I wasn't so good. Let's see if yeah. Just gonna check if it accidentally, if this is a bug or if it's now. There's no style, and on this, so it should be a style on the row at least. Yeah, not on the visible expression, but on the style expression. Okay, I got a bug report about that. Good. So the model refreshes and the boxes. All right. Maybe this isn't. Yeah.
Did you try setting the text color also and see if it just like...
What I'm gonna do is to restart it, because I think since I'm running it from debug, I came straight from the project. So I'm just gonna remember what this is called, InplacePopup modeler, and I'm gonna stop it and break that one and because I didn't really recognize that behavior. Those are still there. Okay, good, or not good, but at least known. Those were the boxes, this or the sled. Yeah, it's plain wrong. Okay, good. Not so good, but when I switch the color to a transparent, see if they are the color is on the wrong. So now I'm making the color transparent. Yes, and so apparently it's drawing it on top of the controls, and that's a new one. Can't really see why. Okay, so the VPF is a bit
wrong Z order maybe?
yes, but
Why? Yeah.
yeah, because so let's see how it works in the web view. Maybe we have problems here as well. So I think I'm in fresh install. I'm gonna restart it. See that it comes up. Yes. So then I can see if I have it. Sled seeker. I'm gonna hide this for now. So they are here, but completely without the style. Okay. Why would that be? Something about the style. It's a placing container. Colors and... No, it's the fill color. I'm gonna do an experiment with the border on the style to see if... I'm gonna add another color. Make that red. Now it should look like that. Alright, now it woke up all of a sudden, but seems to be on the rows and not on the box. Let's see. So the style expression on this one is new style. And on, okay, now it's both on the outer and also on the row. What happens if I remove it from the row? Okay, it's not behaving as I had as it was when I tested it, but that's okay. That means there's something to do. Anyway, let's see if this also is the wrong Z order, so it will have to be... I'm going to change the transparency on this one. Maybe that was out of screen. No, this is the more correct order. So the neat thing about this is that they should be just like ordinary controls, and it should be editable and everything. So if this address, it has a read-only expression true now because it was in a grid, so I'm going to remove that one. And if so, this one could be written to directly just as before, and this at least I think it will be a very usable control to quickly compact the UI to reduce unnecessary.
And so what would the behavior, what's the intended behavior when there's like lots of rows and extends, you know, beyond a certain, either the window or whatever? Will there be a scroll or something like that?
Yeah, I guess we need to figure that out. I'm not really sure how it will behave. Let's just add a button to more quickly add more boxes. So self boxes add box create. So yeah, now since this UI is set to scroll, it depends on what you do on the outer placing container, which will be this one. So if we want to stop that from scrolling, we would say hide overflow, I think. And all right, now I forgot to save it. Yeah, okay, it just hides it. So yeah, I guess we can say on this one that we also hide the overflow, because then we force it to scroll, and this is always a bit tricky to get. We need to figure out a good tutorial for how, if we want this one to scroll. Yeah, I can't figure it out now.
You can make the column scrollable and set the maximum height for that at least. I don't think it's gonna fetch the size of the window at this point, because it's absolutely positioned and it's out of the flow. But at least in this way you can try to make it smaller.
So let's say it's like 300 in maximum height. Yeah, then it would be forced. Good call. Very good. And of course, this doesn't necessarily need to be a grid. It will be fine with any type of nesting. At least I need to hedge my bets now, because things didn't exactly work as I thought. But if I were to add a different nesting single link, just self. So this is the sled again. And of course, since it will be confused because this doesn't have a placing container, so it renders in the background. So I'm going to add a placing container. So that's the sled, and I can add things from the sled, the registration number on the sled. I'm gonna remove that one, and can also add all the boxes again as a grid under here. So now they're there just like they would be, but the new thing is that I can say that this should be an action, and then it will render differently. Why didn't those go away then? Let's see what happened. Yeah, right, this I'm gonna need to I wonder if this one should be, that's hard, that's tough. Guess not. So this, if this is a single link, I guess it needs to be, I guess we could do in the end we could do a pop-up in the pop-up, and that was one of the things that I'm not sure that it's very usable, or the usability on that one. So let's.
Couldn't you put it put it up at the top and just do reference current sled?
Yeah.
Up in the green.
Yes. So that would be the same. But if I want the box inside the... Yeah, but I guess then we're at the point where we don't have the in-place pop-up. Then we would more like do a standard pop-up. And what a standard pop-up would do is... let's call it a name. Is not unique. So that's this... Yeah, that one. I'm going to call that boxes 2. Another way to do a pop-up, or the old way to do a pop-up, or not the old, the still good way to do a pop-up would to be a new, create a new view model. So let's call this pop-up sled and say that it's rooted in sled. And here we can do the registration number and also the boxes. And the boxes we add the address, and once we have that, we can, if we want to bring that up, we would have a button to bring that one up. So that's just an action button. Bring up normal pop up. And how do you do that? And you do that by calling an action that would bring it up. Yeah, so let's do that first. Have an action that brings it up. We'll go to that one again, pop-up sled, and gonna have I'm gonna do a class action for the sled that shows the pop-up, and why it's complaining. And then I'm saying on the action that this is to be shown as a pop-up. Not sure why this is complaining, it shouldn't. So then we have the show pop-up sled. Good. And what we want to do now is to, from the outer form sled, bring up normal pop-up, say execute action, and that's gonna be available on the nesting, on the root nesting here, called auto form sled, and the action that it's gonna call is show pop-up sled. Yeah, then this one shows up. So this is a new thing. I want to remove that one. Whoops. And this kind of pop-up is allowed to do whatever it wants. So that's a more advanced thing than the in-place pop-up that merely hides a few controls to enter a few values. And the use case that you, Alex, introduced was to actually grab actions from the left menu and make them available out in the UI. And you did that by using
the list of actions. Yeah, basically what I wanted to make with this pop-up in pop-up, as you said, it wasn't the second pop-up inside the pop-up. It's just basically a nesting in the pop-up with different groups of actions. So I had a header for the manage action group and list all of the actions from the manage group. Then I had a header for the show group or any other group that it's available there, and I show the actions for the show group. So there were no like pop-ups inside the pop-ups, but the nesting of the actions, multiple columns sort of with nesting.
Yes. So gonna just try to replicate a little bit of your use case. I'm gonna put some things in. I'm gonna remove a few things here to get a clearer. And here I'm gonna add an action. I'm gonna call it show actions, and the expression for that is gonna be self vm dot list actions. This is a new way to actually get all the left menu actions, and you would say in what level you're after. So in our case we are after the top level, so we say auto form sled here. And since this is a top level, we can use the constant stat.
Is this way of creating like overlay things, is it used on a desktop, or do we find that also on mobile devices?
This?
I just feel that I'm unused to this way of showing data, like with this overlay. But maybe I'm just not seeing
the pop-up, you mean?
Yeah. That you make lists that come out of a button.
So that's the...
Basically, it's a filter thing that you can see all over the internet. Like if you pick some filters, it's some like it. You can use it as a filters, but in this case, we use it as just a list of actions.
And also, if you think of the standard picker box in HTML, and I was surprised when I researched it, but the standard picker box doesn't allow HTML in the list. It's only text labels, and almost everyone wants something more. And then this is one way to manage it. Have a small button that pops up a list of things. So this will return a collection of action instance, which is a tuple which we can handle in a nesting. So I'm going to add a nesting and just say that it's called actions. I'm going to leave the type empty because it's not a model type, it's a tuple type from this one. And then I'm going to set this to actions, and this then say derived type from referring column. And then this will get I'm going to add, this doesn't give you any clues on what it has. You have to go to the expression to see self dot. You can have the action name and if it's enabled and things like that. So show actions then actually shows you all the actions available here, and you can build your own menu from scratch and in the end hide that one to do all your stuff from pop-ups like this without the need to put the OCL behind every one of these names. It can still be managed as actions in the action list. And of course this beyond action name you have if it's enabled, what group it was associated to, what hint you have added to it if you want to do anything of that out of that. If it's a navigating action that will jump somewhere, because one use case is to separate all the navigating actions from the non-navigating actions that adds or changes data in a way. And of course the presentation. So the action name is probably not the thing that we want to show. We want to show the presentation instead.
Yeah, or basically you can make this, it's now a table, but I made it into the placing containers, and it's just rows, and each row it's an action, and you can have an action to execute, but as a label of that action you are using self presentation. So it's only like one column that is required there for this list of actions.
Yeah, cool.
So it's basically just mimic the left side menu, but within the right, near the right content where you need it, and under one roof sort of thing, under one.
So what you did was to say that this is actually an action in a placing container grid or a list view. And then what you also said when we turn on this subcolumns and we say that it should have a subcolumn
of label.
Subcolumn expression for label.
Yeah, and this label is self-presentation, but the actual,
self-presentation.
But the actual column that we are working on is the self-VM execute action, if I remember correctly. So it's the actual button.
Just it. Good. So then we would be on the self VM dot execute action, and then we will take the nesting name from self nesting name and self action name.
Yeah, and to make it look more like
let's see, did I not make this an action already? No. So
and yeah, to make it look more like a list of that actions that we see on the left side, we can put it into the flat style, so it's like a flat button, not the one that it's colored.
All right, now the disable expression shouldn't be on the action, and flat.
Yeah.
All right, wait a minute. What happened? Not sure what went on with this one. I'm gonna switch. Yeah, now it's back.
Yeah, so it's more of a list style.
Yeah.
If it would have a white background.
And the same thing with here, we would want a style expression self. We styles new style.
Can I just ask there? Would that also mean that, well, one step would be to have, say, a self-VM execute action, but instead of sending names and such, maybe one could just send in the action object?
Yeah.
That work? I'm just thinking of type safing and not using strings.
Yes. So yes and no. Of course, that would be preferred, but that's not necessarily what you have, because how would you get it? This is a way to give me all you got, and you have this list, and then you can filter it in different way depending on group, etc. But once in a while, you just want a button that want to execute something that exists here. So I think to solve that, it's better that we introduce the enums that we have, like for view models and styles to repeat. But I'm not so
Yeah, I was just thinking in this instance, it's like it seems so natural to send in the action object.
Yeah, so we need to figure out how to handle all of this.
So what? Okay, so now they are executing.
So now they are like complete actions. They do everything this do, but completely under our own control. And of course, yeah. So that's one way of sort of
Hans, I have a
getting
quick
control.
question.
Sorry.
Sorry, I have a quick question. I mean, I've generally not used a lot of model actions because I can't access. I mean, if I'm in the designer, that's all well and good and fine. But if I'm in the framework inside of Visual Studio in a regular sort of desktop program, I didn't think I had access to things like model actions, unless I mean, if I haven't come in using a sort of a web webcoff type of instantiation, and I haven't generally used a lot of those.
Yeah. So since we're adding access through OCL, like we did here, that kind of action is available also straight from the viewmodel object. So there's C sharp.
That must be an absolutely brand new thing then.
Yes, it had been growing piece by piece, but I guess this is sort of meta because it's the application asking the application what it can do and what it has, and then once it gets the answer that this is what I can do, the application can render that the way you want. And so it's a bit of folding, and I think it's basically the right path, even if it feels sort of dangerous, like you're developing the application with the application itself almost. But since you only have access to the things that you have declared and defined, what the only thing you do is say where do you want that access and when do you want that access. So that enables you to, for example, show a couple of actions only when the state is this or the state is that. And that's basically the same thing that we solve with access groups, but maybe your rules are particular, so that you depending on all the data you have at hand, want to decide if this is a good idea to show the user this action, or even if this is such a good idea that the system should execute the action itself by a periodic action. Like that's the only way to get the system to actually do anything totally by itself. It's the periodic action. Yeah, so a bit of a rough demo, but this is the way we're heading with the InplacePopup to. I think it's a good addition to the things that we already have, because things like like I described, a combo box override would be easier, simpler, not so cumbersome to define, even if it was possible before, like Alex showed that it was possible, but it took a few variables and a few things to get working, a bit of scripting. So we want to make it out of the box and always work.
Yeah, so this way also you could make a combo box that is defined then with a placing container, so it could be big and contain images and basically anything that you could pick. Does these things also support vCurrent? If I pick one?
Yeah, so they are pretty much just inline UI that's not shown at the moment. So they are like a full tree. So if you have put a lot of things there, it will be in the client already, but it won't show until you push the button.
So then I can also then I can put buttons, of course.
Yeah.
Inside there. So for example, if there was you have a drop down, you can act on what is like selected, but then you could also have a button that says pick avatar, and then let that be rendered by the picture itself. So when you click on the avatar that is laid out whatever way you want, then that could
Yeah, so
like
that's
run the action.
the goal. I tried the render by, but it didn't pick up on the pop-up action today. But it shouldn't be a big thing, because the render by should logically behave just as so then. And it's a very good way to make a compact UI, because you only show the picture, but when you click the picture, you can do more things. It's basically what Dennis has done for file upload and things like that. It's there's a lot of things that we want to have it going on once you do file upload, but it's just a blob. So where are you gonna put it? And this strategy might be a if we think further of that, an ability to create your own. Yeah, of course there are many ways to create your own stuff, but within the model describe exactly what fields you want. And when it comes to the components, then this is the view meta thing has been appended, so it's basically just a nesting with the ordinary controls within the pop-up. So it's nothing new. It's just a defer of show.
Because it also, yeah, so basically when we said that we're using OCL inside the model itself, that is what we're doing in several instances now, that we are able to say, like, give me all the view models, or give me all the actions, and you get action objects. So you can access both model metadata and database data from the same point, so you could combine them actually. So you could say delete, and then the data from the object. So you can say delete, Johnny Depp, and then have a picture of him also there at the same place. So, and still have access group, because you can't execute it if the access group from that action.
That's one good thing about actions, or there are many good things about actions, because they can be class tied and not only button tied. So they can show up in multiple places if that is what you prefer.
Almost all UIs need that, right?
Yeah.
More and more you need to act on them differently.
Yeah. Good. Time is up, but a bit rough, and there's apparently a few things that we need to fix, and also I got the points from you, Alex, that I think I fixed a few of them, but there are a few more to do. But this is a new thing that we could start to use and report bugs on. Yay. Good.
Interesting.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and as I said initially, this is the last one for this season, then, and we will pick it up in 2024 at some point, probably not the first or second week, but some point after that. Yeah.
So Merry Christmas, or as in the US, I guess, Happy Holidays.
You have to be politically correct.
Yes. Thank you very much for the demo, Hans.
Yeah.
Have a good time, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much
Yeah,
again.
Thank you. Thanks for showing up.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.